Hi, firstly, I just wanted to thank you for coming to this virtual open house that we have here in this glorious classroom.
Happy to be here.
I wanted to start off by just talking about what the course is, how I see it, and how I think it's going to be valuable to your kids. Physics is the study of matter and energy and how things move and interact, but in maybe a more important way for many of your students, it is an opportunity for them to think more deeply about things that maybe they've taken for granted before, and to encourage them to use evidence to rationalize, to support, and to understand the things that they see in the world. And my hope is that they can then apply those things beyond this classroom, and that's one of maybe my biggest goals for your students, is that we are able to then pull those skills and push them out into the real world with something that's really meaningful. You know, at the end of the day, your students aren't going to remember exactly what the particle duality is, right? They're going to forget about that. But if I can give them some skills in critical thinking and logic, that they can apply more universally, pun intended, then I feel like I've done something that is lasting and meaningful. Try to use this as a platform to help your kids to think about things that are important, to challenge, say, their worldview, to challenge things that they thought were true through the avenue of physics. You know, so we'll talk about gravity. What are their ideas about that? We'll talk about the universe and how stars are formed, and we'll talk about these things that are maybe extraneous to the course, but are rooted in evidentiary thinking. And then we can apply those to maybe socio-scientific type issues so that they can help to understand the world that they live in, and not just this physical content that we live in. Really, I also want to talk to you about what my current plan is here. And it's going to change. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say what is going to work because this is super, super new. And we're all trying to figure out what is going to work best for us. And my personal perspective is it really needs to work. It certainly needs to work for me, but it really needs to work for your kids. If it doesn't, then there's no point in this. And so I'm gonna be asking them a lot of questions like, how about this? What works better? Like, is it this way or that way? But it's subject to change. And so I'm gonna, that's the little caveat on all this, but this is our current sort of plan. And it's a little, it's maybe a little different than what some other teachers are doing, so here it is. The current plan for me is to have kids come in live for sure on Monday and Tuesday. And so even though they're an A kid, they're still going to come on a B day virtually. And that way we can still have the sense of a whole class, and we can kind of keep going, and I'll have more opportunity to answer questions and to ask questions in real time, as opposed to virtually. I mean, often my class now, or at least on virtual Wednesdays, my class looks like this. And that's weird to me. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around some of that, because I really much prefer my class to look more like this.
3, 2, 1, drop.
And doing these kinds of things that are valuable and fun, and it's difficult to engage in a fun way in this remote so far, or at least with the tools that I'm used to kind of procuring, or used to using, and we're working towards that. So again, current plan: come Monday, Tuesday, no matter what. So there are links in the calendar for those virtual meetings, and you'll come. Obviously, Wednesday is the virtual live Wednesday, and we'll roll with that. We'll all be virtual on that day, and then Thursday and Friday will be a chance to have questions answered and/or to work on things for the week. So if you're here, I'll be able to have some like real personal, like sort of one-on-one time, obviously in a safe way, with all the measures we have in place here. But Friday we'll have an ungraded quiz. The window opens in the morning and it closes sometime in the evening, and they can take it at any time during the day. The reason I'm making it ungraded is because I need a way to accurately measure kids and what they know and what they don't know, so I can know what I need to do next week. But I don't want them to feel compelled that they have to, or that they, when they have the opportunity to look something up, that they would do that. And so if I make it ungraded, then they can really just go in and do what they want. They should do their best, and I encourage them for you to do that. But they don't need to feel pressure to get everything right, which I know your kids do. And that'll make it hard for me to know what to do next if they take that route. So they're going to be ungraded, and then we will have tests eventually when we're in person, and that'll be the only way that we do actual tests. So that'll be more the normal structure for that. Looks like we have a question out there.
What's your grade breakdown?
So here's the grade breakdown. We're going to have 25% quizzes and homework. We're going to have 45% of our grade, so a big chunk is going to be tests, and those will happen less frequently and most certainly be more cumulative than those quizzes. And then we're going to have 30% of it be labs. Labs are going to vary this year. They are going to be different. I am working on some ideas to make some labs that are fun and we can do them safely. But we are certainly going to have a certain amount of virtual labs and some at-home labs. But I'm gonna do my best to try to come up with something that is both fun and meaningful. Because usually I do a survey at the beginning of the year, and one of the things that kids say, like, "What's your favorite thing about science?" And they're like, "The labs," and I'm like, "Duh," because that's going to be the struggle for us in this situation. Looks like we have another question out there. Okay.
How do we get a hold of you?
For you to communicate me, and please do so. If you ever have a question, please send me an email. It's going to be a great way for me to get a hold of you. I'm able to see it either on my phone, so if I'm at home, I'll be able to answer, or on the computer here, and that's going to be my primary way. So here's my communication stuff, and you'll be able to contact me whenever you want. I hope your kids have a great time this year. I hope they learn something. I hope they find it meaningful. I hope they come home one day and say, "You'll never believe what Mr. Ross says." And hopefully it's a good thing, that what they're talking about, and you're like, "Holy cow." I'm just looking forward to being positive this year and making it the best that it can be. Have a good night or day or whatever. Bye.